All right. So we have now moved to our dashboard part, and in this on this dashboard, I have created some dummy menus right now. So let me show you first what those menus are, and behind the scenes, I have also created some database tables. Now you can see there are a bunch of tables. I will quickly explain them to you what they are doing, and I will actually open them in the MySQL workbench so you can see the relationships between each of them. All right. So the menus here, first of all, you can see the settings. Inside the settings, we are actually going to make everything dynamic here. So we will not just stick up to some hard coded things, which I obviously prefer almost all the times to make things dynamic instead of making them hard code. And obviously, this dashboard belongs to the admin section first. Obviously, our web portal will be deployed on two different subdomains. One will be for the admin, and the second one will be for the companies. And the last one will be for the users, which will be obviously our main domain. And so we have countries and countries. And then we will have cities, locations. So city will obviously belong to country, and location will belong to city stuff. So now you can see that a country can have cities and a cities can have locations. So there will be deeper nested relationships here as well, and we might also implement the has many through or belongs to many relationships kind of that thing. So again, the same case happens here in industries. Industries have sectors, and sectors can have skills as well. And the statuses, now these statuses will be basically the listing statuses. Now the listings basically mean will be the jobs. So the job statuses will be here, like if applicants apply to the job, what the statuses will be. So that statuses will obviously be dynamic, and we will also link emails to these statuses as well. Now, what does that mean is basically if any status changes to the user, the email should automatically be triggered to that specific user again if the status has been changed. And then obviously we will have subscriptions. Right now we will play with the free subscriptions method, but obviously in future we might expand this. So that is why I have, as I have earlier mentioned, that I am a kind of person who makes things dynamic instead of rather hard coding them. So that's why I have left this subscription here as a future module. And then we will have currencies. Obviously, this job portal will not only belong to a specific region or specific country, so this might go abroad or international. And obviously, you know that the salary package we defined that should have a currency as well. And obviously then the last we will have the listing roles. So the listing roles basically will be what type of the job it is, like it is either a full-time, part-time, remote, or senior level, executive level. So these kind of roles will be populated here. And after settings we have simple things like blogs. Obviously, you know, every website has a blogs, and then the companies, and then the listings here. So these are right now basically the dummy menus here. They have nothing work right now. So obviously we will make them dynamic. So right now these are dummy. All right, so let me take you to the database. And what obviously you might have guessed the database tables names from all of these things, the all of these menus. So I will, instead of just going each and every table and explain what it will that and this do, I will open quickly the MySQL workbench, and I will show you how it looks when we reverse engineer it. So I will click on. So if you have not downloaded the MySQL Workbench, so it's pretty amazing tool. You can do a lot of things with that. You can actually generate the um, the diagrams with the help of it. So what I'm going to do is basically click on the database, and I will select the reverse engineer, and it will give me the pop-up here. So I will simply say the next and the next, and I have to choose the database here. So my database is basically the jobs underscore portal, click next and next, and obviously we have to execute it, and it's creating us the diagrams, and just click next and finish. Now you can see that we have a lot of diagrams here, and all of these are interconnected with each other. Now how this interconnectivity happens here, first of all let me just increase the screen size of my screen, the screen resolution, so that you can see it a bit more clear. Alright, so you can see here that we have a bunch of let me just, I think so there is another is a way that we can zoom this out, yeah, right here. So like so so what you can see here is basically um, a bunch of tables that are interlinked with each other. Right now I'm really not sure which table is linked to which one, but obviously there is some one to many and many to many and one to one relationship going on. So that's a one way to show the diagrams. Obviously you have to first set it in a way that it's probably representable. Right now I even don't know which table should populate where, but still there is a lot of relationships going on behind the scenes. So I will actually show you how these things works. So you can see that there are lines, so that means that this has one to many relationship. So it says like let me see, it goes on to this table. So what it does is basically it says that the cities and companies, obviously, so the company will belong to a city, and cities can have many companies. So you can see that it has one to many relationship going on here. So how this relationships creates, so I will quickly demonstrate you with the help of the migration. So inside of this migration, you can see that I have created a column, and I gave this instead of string or unset integer, I declared it as a foreign ID. Now, what this foreign ID does is it will obviously create an instance of the foreign ID for the user ID, and then we will have to define the on which table we want this to actually reference to. So in that case, what I am doing is basically the table user ID on users and references the ID of that table. So similarly, the case with this one. So you can see there are a couple of user ID, country ID, city ID, location, and everyone is referenced on to its own table. So the country ID is basically to countries, city to cities, and they are all referencing the main primary key there. So that's about it for this video. This video was not basically meant for any kind of coding purposes. In the next videos we will try to make things dynamic, and we will work, obviously make everything here dynamic, and then we will move towards obviously gradually and slowly we will make the progress here. So one more thing, let me clear you here, is that there might be a lot of situations in this series where you will see every time a lot of CUD operations being performed. Obviously you know that this whole thing belongs to a kind of CUD operations, but there are some kind of relationships involved in every step. And the main purpose of all these videos will be basically I will walk you through each and every step, how we can enhance things and how we can actually make things much faster. Obviously in the next videos we will also install the Laravel debugger to actually debug our queries, and we will also try to implement the data patterns here, the repository patterns, and then the interfaces as well. So just stick to the videos and you will obviously probably learn a lot of things from this series. So I hope so you have enjoyed this series and you are enjoying the series. If you do so, please like the video and subscribe my YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video.